we do live in a racist country. It's still a racist country. That's why in some of these polls it's Obama 47, Romney 48. And you're going, how could that be? Because, I mean, we've all laughed through the primaries. A good 40% of this country is never going to vote for him. Just as Congress made it, the Republicans made a decision that they are going to oppose everything that he proposed. If Obama proposed articles of impeachment against himself, they would not vote for them. I'm convinced. But nobody with half a brain believes that if Trayvon Martin had a gun in his belt and was following George Zimmerman, whose father was a judge, and then Zimmerman, being afraid, turns on Trayvon and starts to beat Trayvon's head into the pavement and punching him in the face. And Trayvon is like, pulls out the gun and puts it in his chest and kills him. Please, somebody tell me what would happen to Trayvon Martin in that situation when the cops showed up. Have you seen the videotape of them in the garage, the police garage with Zimmerman? He gets out of the car. First of all, he gets out of the car by himself. Usually the cops are like, head down, arms out. No, he just gets out of the back seat by himself. They're just standing there talking. Now let's go into the police station. And the two cops start walking toward the door of the police station. Martin takes off out of camera range around the other side. They don't even take him by the arm. He just goes on his own in the different direction from them. Nobody's worried though. They don't turn around and think, he'll come with us. I mean, it's the most amazing. And you know, the way the media has been the last few days, especially ABC, running these stories, because they know all they've got to do is show some abrasions on Trayvon's knuckles, and that's justification for killing him. Or show a black eye or a cut in the back of his head, on Zimmerman's head. Yeah, oh geez, Zimmerman, he was being pummeled, he was being hurt, he felt threatened. Well, yeah, he felt threatened because he was chasing down somebody who had a bag of Skittles. And this case really, man, it pulls it all together. And it is a reminder to us that a good, I think, 40% of this country will vote against Obama until he walks out of the White House as a white man, and then it might go down to 35%.
There is no doubt that America is less racist today than it was 50 years ago in terms of interpersonal relations. We wouldn't have a brilliant, charismatic black man in the White House tied to militarism, oligarchs, and others. Without that, America is less racist. Now, I don't believe that requires that you give out moral prizes to white brothers and sisters for being less racist than your great-grandmama and granddaddy, because the bar was pretty low, you know. But I acknowledge that progress. The brother Malcolm X used to say what? You don't stab folk in the back 9 inches, pull it out 3 inches, and then celebrate your progress. Because you got institutional forms, and we know, and this is not just a matter of race, it's a matter of class as well, that if precious white brothers and sisters were going to jail at the level of intensity in the last 30 years, so you end up with 300,000 in the 1980s and 2.6 million today, it would be a national emergency talked about every day, every week, every month, every year. It's a fact. And it's a matter of class. If black middle class brothers and sisters were going to jail at the same level of intensity as our precious black poor brothers and sisters in terms of the prison industrial complex. We have different kind of black leadership. You have different kind of black pastors, different kind of black cultural reflection. That's institutional. And there's no way that somebody coming from another planet and looked at the prison industrial complex and looked at the hoods and looked at the schools and the 50% levels of unemployment and underemployment and the decrepit housing and say, this is a profoundly racist society. They would be right at the institutional level. But they would say, oh, but interpersonally we like each other now because we used to lynch them, you know. They would say, that's a fascinating history. You're making progress on the interpersonal level. And we laugh to keep from crying. That legacy of white supremacy is still operating at that institutional level, but it kicks in with class and poverty, so we got enough middle-class Negroes around to provide examples of success. And those same middle-class Negroes oftentimes have become too indifferent to the suffering of their cousins, locked into the basement, and you end up hiding and concealing this. I don't even like to talk about race in that abstract sense, right? We're talking about a legacy of white supremacy. And I would be saying the same thing if black brothers and sisters had done that to white brothers and sisters. If black supremacy was operating the same way white supremacy lasts 400 years, then I'd be a critic of black supremacy. I'd be with my white brothers and sisters against black supremacy. It ain't skin pigmentation, even though I like being black. But it's a question of morality and integrity and what kind of human being you want to be. Trying to be right and just. That's what we're talking about. And that's what we got to connect when we talk about race.